Going to call the special council meeting for December 16th to order. Tonight, we are meeting to discuss the purpose is for a zoning bylaw amendment for 80 Maidstone Avenue in Essex Center Ward 1. We have all members of council present except for Councillor McGuire Blaze. She is on her way. We acknowledge that this land is the traditional territory of the Three Fires Confederacy of First Nations, comprised of the Ojibwe, the Ottawa, and the Potawatomi peoples, and of the Huron-Wendat peoples. We value the significant historical and contemporary contributions of local and regional First Nations and of all the original peoples of Turtle Island who have been living and working on the land from time immemorial. Are there any declarations of conflicts of interest from members of council this evening? Seeing none, if you find yourself in conflict, please let us know. I need a mover and a seconder that the special council meeting agenda for December 16th be approved as published. Councillor Mady, Councillor Allard, any questions? Seeing none, all in favor, and that is carried. We do have the applicants here in the audience, and they are requesting to speak, so we will go to them after our administration. So we will go to Ian. Welcome, Rawlings, Mr. Rawlings, our junior planner.
Just going to wait for the PowerPoint. All right. Good afternoon, Madam Mayor and Council. I'm here today to present a proposed site-specific zoning amendment for the property identified as 0 Maidstone Avenue West. The purpose of the statutory public meeting is to present the application and to hear the questions and comments from Council and the public. Next slide, please. Oh, thank you. The property is located at 0 Maidstone Avenue West, identified by the red star in the top right corner of the town of Essex. The property is designated Highway Corridor Commercial Area 1 in the Town of Essex official plan, and the property is zoned Commercial District 1.1 under the Town of Essex zoning bylaw. This is geared towards neighborhood commercial uses. Next slide, please. The property has a lot area of 5,900 square meters and is considered a corner lot which fronts Maidstone Avenue West, Peter Street, and Bear Street. The property is currently vacant and does not contain any natural heritage features. It's not located within a parking exemption area and is not located within IRCA's territory either. Next slide, please. The subject property currently permits a number of uses under the Commercial District 1.1 zoning, which includes a business office, day nursery, financial office, professional studio, restaurant, and takeout food outlet. And development on this parcel is also restricted to a building height of 10 meters, and each use is subject to a maximum gross floor area of 250 square meters. Next slide, please. So in the next few slides, I'll identify the purpose for this zoning application and why it's required. Right. So the applicants are requesting a site-specific zoning amendment to permit additional site-specific uses and regulations to increase the development potential for the property and facilitate its development. These additional uses includes a bake shop, a drive-through restaurant, a drive-through food outlet, a health studio, and a microbrewery. Additionally, the applicant is requesting relief from subsection 18.1B2 of the zoning bylaw, which limits the maximum gross floor area of specific uses to 250 square meters. Next slide, please. Now, the applicant has provided 2 separate concept plans detailing what the subject site could look like with these proposed changes. And the applicant is currently in the pre-consultation phase of site plan control, which is the appropriate time to address other items such as the lot layout, access, servicing, etc. Next slide, please. So the next few slides will detail the applicable policies that this was evaluated under. Next slide, please. Thank you. The first being the provincial policy statement, provincial planning statement, which does not detail policy direction for specific uses or regulations with respect to the requested amendments. However, the PPS is supportive of the requested amendments as it provides for a broader range of employment uses for the subject site, as this increases its viability and developmental potential. Additionally, the requested amendments remove the gross floor area maximum. This would allow the development to respond to items such as market demands and economical shifts. Next slide, please. So similar to the PPS, the County of Essex official plan does not detail policy direction for specific employment uses and regulations, and instead relies on the lower tier municipalities to regulate these items. However, the County of Essex official plan encourages the development of population-related employment land uses for which the applicant is requesting for the subject property. Next slide, please. So with it, we have section 5.14 of the Town of Essex official plan, which details permitted uses within the highway corridor commercial area number 1. And in comparison, the requested permitted uses are comparative to the permitted uses within this management area. Next slide, please. And then furthermore, section 5.14 of the official plan contains goals for the highway corridor commercial area. These goals include the need to capitalize on the inherent strengths to attract regional consumers, strengthen and enhance the town's existing economic base, and to recognize that commercial areas are dynamic in nature and must be able to evolve, adapt, and redevelop as the market conditions and consumer needs and preferences change over time. Permitting the additional uses and removing the gross floor area maximum would remove development barriers. It would increase the potential for this site to attract regional consumers and allow for the subject property to respond to market conditions and consumer needs. In addition, permitting the drive-through restaurant and drive-through food outlet supports automobile-oriented commercial uses. Sorry, yes, next slide, please. And then lastly, the subject property is zoned commercial district 1.1, and the development of the parcel will be required to conform to the zoning bylaw and its regulations, including those listed on screen. Now, not only is the applicant seeking those additional uses, but they're requesting relief from the area I've highlighted in the red, which is that gross floor area maximum of 250 square meters. The intent of this regulation is to prevent large-scale population-related employment uses in neighborhood commercial areas, which these uses are typically found within or adjacent to existing residential development, whereas this one's located close to abutting the county road in close proximity to Highway 3 and borders other commercial uses. Next slide, please. So now I will be outlining our circulation process and any circulation received. So in accordance with the Planning Act, all properties within 120 meters of the subject lands were circulated for this application, and notice was placed on site. We received some phone correspondence where members of the public had general questions about the development process, and the most notable concerns revolved around the access to the site and potential drainage concerns. Earlier today, we did receive one comment from Cindy and Paul Kessling expressing concerns regarding the location of access off of Peter Street and the location and screening of refuse bins. The comment did not express any concerns regarding the proposed changes to the site, and this comment will be included in the next report to be brought back to council. I would like to note that items such as access, drainage, location of refuse bins, parking and such will be handled during the site plan control process, and the applicants will be required to maintain their own stormwater runoff and construct stormwater management facilities to the liking of infrastructure services. Traffic memo is required to identify and address any traffic concerns that may result from this development. And lastly, the zoning bylaw contains regulations for items such as refuse areas and their screening. Next slide, please. Now, we did not receive any objections from our internal and external agencies. Next slide. And then lastly, just want to outline the next steps that council can take. So a report to council and bylaw have now been prepared. The applicants are in attendance and are here to answer any questions that council may have. Should, after all presentations complete, council may decide to approve the application, deny the application, or defer the application if more information is required. And through our analysis, it's staff's recommendation to approve the application as it meets the criteria of the PPS and the official plans. Thank you.
Any questions, comments from members of council? Seeing none, did Did either of you wish to speak? Okay. Okay. We have the proponents in the audience, council, and we could get a motion if you have questions from them. So at this point, I'm seeking a mover and a seconder that the planning report be received and that bylaw 2400 being a bylaw to amend 1037 to permit additional main uses to request relief from subsection 18.1B of the zoning bylaw be read a first and second time and provisionally adopted on December 16th. Looking for a mover and a seconder. Moved by Deputy Mayor, supported by Councillor Verbeek. Any questions to the motion? Councillor Verbeek. Okay. Now we have a motion on the floor. Okay. Okay. I'm going to call the question unless there are other questions to our administration. All in favor? Opposed, and that is carried. I'm looking for a motion to adjourn. Councillor McGuire Blaze, supported by Councillor Hammond, all in favor? And that is carried.